Hey there, soul family. Today I did my first pick a card reading, although it's not technically pick a card, it's more like pick a pile because it's a pile of cards. But it was really nerve-wracking, but it's something I've been wanting to do for a while. So I'm really excited to be able to put this out there. For those of you who don't know how the pick a card or pick a pile works, it's a way of receiving guidance or clarification from spirit or the creator or your higher guidance by using your intuition to pick a pile of cards that calls out to you. And each pile of cards I meditated on individually with the sole intention of asking spirit, what do you need to know most at this moment in time? So all you need to do is go with your first gut instinct for which pile you want to take. Don't question it, just go with it and see what resonates for you. And maybe it's advice or a storyline or some clarity that you might need in this moment in time, or maybe it'll be more relevant next week or in a few months, who knows. So hopefully this will give you some insight or clarity or encouragement for whatever you're going through at this time, or maybe recent past, or maybe near future. And let's head over to the piles now. Hello again, everyone. So these are the 4 piles that I mentioned before. So I invite you to take your time, use your intuition or your gut feeling to see which of the 4 piles you feel most drawn to. And if it helps, I added crystals to each of the piles. So pile number 1 is rose quartz. Pile number 2 is black tourmaline. Pile number 3 is a rainbow fluorite. Check out that cool triangle in the middle there. And pile number 4 is a Chrysocolla. So again, whichever pile you feel most drawn to, and I will timestamp each of the pile readings so that you can go to your reading more quickly and easily without having to listen to all the others. So take your time to pick a pile and I'll see you at your reading. Welcome to pile number 1, the rose quartz pile. We'll just put that over there for now and let's see what Spirit wants you to know today, or whenever you get this reading, whenever it resonates for you. We've got doubt. I release the need to know all the answers. And then followed by peace. I am a being of love and I release all negative energy. Now, right off the bat, I noticed something about these 2 cards. They both involve releasing something. Releasing the need to know the answers, all the answers, and releasing negative energy. Okay, so that's really important. Another thing I noticed right away is that doubt hinders peace. So there are some things that you need to release, or that Spirit is encouraging you to release in order to attain peace. That rhymes. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Next we have, oh look at that, peace again. And there we have the dove, the classic dove holding the olive branch, and an egg. And my understanding of an egg in this deck is that it's not completely cooked yet. It's still germinating. Something that still needs to be worked on for you. And of course, as we can see over here, there are some things that need to be released anyways to get that peace that you need. And I'm going to just read from the book about this card here. So the essential meanings of this card is freedom from attachment, radical acceptance. It doesn't get any better than this. A quiet mind, a heart fulfilled, freedom from want, and the soul's satisfaction. The way to peace is through radical acceptance. Everything in your world is exactly as it should be. Harmony is beautiful. Enjoy it. So Spirit is encouraging you to understand that whatever's going on right now, causing you some doubt and lack of peace, inner peace, it's as it should be for the time being. This card, step out of your comfort zone. So how I understand this astrologically is in your birth chart. You of course have a sun sign, a moon sign, and other planets based on your date of birth, but there's also your south node and your north node. Your south node is what you came into this world with, the energy surrounding you, your karma, your behaviors, your comfort behaviors that you sort of fall back on, and how you were as a child. And your north node is actually where you're headed, your life path, where the goals that you set before you even came here is where you want to get to. That's the north node. So this card is inviting you to perhaps change some behaviors that you normally fall back on, and embrace a new way of being. And perhaps for you, a new way of being is to experience inner peace and to trust that things are as they're meant to be, and to get out of this place of doubt. Now the next card we have is the Chameleon. Stay in the background and adapt to the situation rather than be conspicuous and attempting to direct the course of events. So this kind of goes along with the idea of trusting that things are as they're meant to be, and not trying to control things, not trying to change things at this time in your life. Whatever that issue is, the first thing that you think of that's really pressing on your mind, on your heart, the issue that might be causing you to doubt and ask questions and wonder and feel some anxiety or worry, this particular issue, I believe you are being invited to just trust that it is as it's meant to be for the time being. So now we're getting into the tarot portion of this, and the card that came out was the King of Fire, which in traditional Rider-Waite Tarot is the King of Wands. And he's kind of the go-getter king, the king of passion, the king that knows what he wants, and he's not afraid to go and get it. He's also the entrepreneur. Then we have the Seven of Air, which in traditional tarot is the Seven of Swords. And this card is kind of the sneaky card. There's a guy stealing a bunch of swords, but he's in such a hurry that he leaves some behind. And so this card is understood as being sneaky behavior, doing something in secret that you shouldn't be doing, also running away, perhaps not being fully open or honest about something. And then we have the Messenger of Air, which is in traditional tarot is the Knight of Swords, and he's traditionally seen galloping into the scene on his noble steed with a sword. And swords represent truth and communication and thought. And so this card is that there's someone coming in with an idea. There's a new idea coming, charging into the scene. It's also fast action coming onto the scene, or a fast-talking person, somebody who's got a lot of ideas, somebody who's really wanting to know something or to share their idea. Last, we have the Queen of Fire, which is the Queen of Wands, and she's very confident, very self-assured, kind of mystical in the traditional tarot. She also has a black cat at her feet, so she's very in tune with her magical, mystical abilities. And if you notice, actually, there seems to be a couple here. Oh, there's a bit of a reflection on the cards there. They are a couple, a power couple. We've got the King of Fire and the Queen of Fire. And they seem to be pillars on either side of this reading here. So I feel like this is about a couple. So whether you resonate with the masculine figure, it can be male or female, but it's the divine masculine kind of energy that a person might embody, whether you resonate with this figure or whether you resonate with the feminine figure. And what I'm picking up here is a situation where I feel like the feminine figure, again, could be male or female in actuality. The feminine figure suspects the masculine figure of being up to no good, doing something backhanded, doing something they shouldn't, maybe not being completely honest or open with her. And I see her sort of, the messenger of air is like sending someone with a sword, demanding truth, demanding what's going on here, wanting to do that, wanting to know what is going on. She suspects something's not quite right, that he's not being completely forthright or honest, and is just kind of assuming the worst, having some doubts perhaps about his fidelity or honesty or his honor in this situation, and kind of assuming the worst. And I feel like what Spirit wants, I feel like this message is to the feminine figure, that rather than assuming the worst, that should rather assume the best and release the negative feelings and thoughts and worries and doubt and just feel peace. We have two cards here about peace and two cards about releasing something that's just not helpful and getting into a place that maybe they're not used to being in, which is a place of being trusting, giving the benefit of the doubt to someone. And so, and then here we have the chameleon basically saying, stay in the background and don't try to direct the course of events, hold back the guy riding the horse, holding the sword to demand truth. Call him back. It's not necessary. Just accept that there might be something else going on instead, and perhaps take a more loving approach to this masculine figure in the relationship and assume, and maybe rather than, it could just mean to just ask with an open mind what's going on rather than assume the worst and cast judgment on them. So the next card I drew was from the Archangel Michael deck. And prayer will help this situation. And what it says on the card here is, Dear God and Archangel Michael, and anyone else to whom you pray, I ask for your divine intervention in whatever the situation is. I welcome your help and I trust and follow your guidance with gratitude and grace. I need a miracle and ask that you send one to me and this situation quickly. So, again, I think you are being invited to pray on this or meditate on this and invite your higher power or higher guidance to help you to see things clearly, if simply trusting and having an open, compassionate mind is too difficult, then to ask for help. again, rather than assuming the worst. And the last card from your pile number 1s, is from the Crystal Spirits deck. And this is Raw Morganite. And I love this deck because I love to do it at the end of a reading, to draw a card from this deck, because it always seems to magically tie together everything that I've just done in a reading. And I'm going to read from the book for this one as well, because usually what's in this book can summarize and explain what I just explained, but much more succinctly and clearly. So we have Raw Morganite. I'll hold the card up while I'm reading this. The essential meanings: sensitivity, gentleness, empathy, compassion, the gift of vulnerability, self-forgiveness. No matter how hard the rock, over time, water can alter it, making a path where there was none before. The appearance of this crystal is a sign that this is a time for you to embrace your sensitivity and gentleness. There's no need to be forceful when you can simply be open to what you're entitled to receive. And in this case, this could be communication. Don't be forceful about communication, but rather be open to what your partner might be willing to give you or tell you. Allow yourself to be vulnerable as this crystal spirit appears in raw, unpolished form, finding strength in knowing that you do not have to engage in battles that serve no one. You are able to handle whatever dramas are in front of you right now. So again, that ties in nicely to, again, calling back the knight on the horse with the sword of truth, demanding answers, right? Knowing you don't have to make it a battle. You can handle taking a different approach and finding inner peace about it. Your exquisite sensitivity will serve you well, for it allows you to see things as they are, rather than, this is me adding an addendum here, rather than assuming the worst, right? And playing out worst case scenarios in your mind. The conscious universe will be gentle with you, and Raw Morganite Spirit is here to let you know that you are not alone and you have a solid foundation beneath you. So express your gifts of empathy and compassion. You are stronger than you know. And it's interesting, this seems to be about inner strength, right? And the Queen of Fire is a very strong queen. She's very strong. I wouldn't want to get on her bad side. Very confident, knows what she wants, isn't afraid to stand up for herself and speak her mind, which is clear in this scenario here. But she's being invited, she or he, to step out of their comfort zone and to try a different approach, have an open mind, and approach this partner that they suspect of being dishonest or some kind of wrongdoing or sneaky behavior. Approach them in a different way, more open-minded way, coming in from a different angle. So that's the message I have for you, pile number 1. I hope this resonated for you. And if it did, please hit the like button and subscribe if you have not already done so. And love and light to you. Welcome, pile number 2ers. You are the ones who felt drawn to the black tourmaline. Welcome here. So these are the cards that I was inspired to draw for you when I asked the question, what does Spirit want you to know the most? The first card that turned up was Abundance. I am a limitless being and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. So this is, some people say manifestation, others call it law of attraction, others still call it the secret. The idea that whatever you set your mind to, you can make it a reality. Which is a very hard... Wow, there's a lot of glare there. It's a very hard lesson. It's a very hard thing to trust that is true. It's very hard to trust that. Next we have Truth Be Told, and from Wisdom of the Oracle. And I'm going to read that directly from the book. And I love this picture. It's owls represent seeing through illusion. They represent truth. And not being fooled by appearances, basically, seeing through the illusion. And there's a window opening up, and the face of the oracle is right inside there, meaning truth. Truth is going to be revealed. And the essential meanings are honesty, accepting things at face value, coming out of denial, the willingness to be transparent, clarity of communication. Now already I feel like having to do with abundance and manifesting what you want to bring about in your life. Communication can also be to your higher power, to God, the Creator, Spirit, Source, however you call it. This could be communication that way, that direction. Communicating what it is you truly want, what your heart wants, what your soul wants. So here's the message. There is the truth, which is the essence of a thing, and then there is a truth, subjective according to the philosophy of the adherent or believer. This is not a time for debate about which truth is truer. This is a time when you are called to proclaim your truth out loud and be willing to be transparent, honest, and open in your communication with others and with yourself. Nothing less than surrender to what is. Peeling off the layers of denial that kept you tied to an illusion will set you free. Be authentic and gloriously flawed, and Spirit will answer with miracles. So I understand this to mean you're being invited to be honest with yourself and to trust that what you're putting out there, what you're telling yourself that you want, what you're telling others, what you're telling your Creator, your higher guidance, what you want. You need to be authentic and honest about what it is you really want in order to send clear messages out there into the universe about what you want, in order to make it a reality. And then we have Round and Round, which is number 25. I'm going to read that one as well, straight from the book. Because honestly, why reinvent the wheel? The way it is worded is really wonderful in these books. So the meanings are the spiral quality of events when a lesson isn't quite integrated, cycles you are challenged to break, revisiting a pattern from a new perspective. And the message is, the appearance of this card is a reminder that although it may appear that you've gone backward, the truth is that you are standing at a higher level. Looking down into your circumstances, you will learn something, do something better, and break a cycle set up in the past. You actually have a bird's eye view of your initial footprints and can access the wisdom and lessons learned. So this, you could almost say that this card is a little bit like the World card from the traditional tarot deck, which is about cycles and lessons that need to be learned. And when you've learned a lesson, then you've completed a cycle, and yay, you get a ceremony, an applause, or a medal, or you just get to, graduate and move on to your next lesson. But sometimes when we don't learn our lessons, we have to keep learning them over and over. It's kind of like failing a test and having to rewrite it. Although it's not about failure. It's just about, we have certain lessons we need to learn in our lives. And if we don't learn them, then the universe gives us other opportunities to learn them again. And while it might feel cruel in the moment to have to keep experiencing the same disappointments, or criticisms, or problems, or roadblocks, or interference, or however it appears in your life, it'll keep happening until you learn the lesson. So we're getting a bigger picture here of what Spirit is wanting to tell you, that you need to be clear about what you want to manifest in your life, what you want to happen in your life. And you need to be honest with yourself with what you want. And until you are, perhaps what keeps replaying over and over is the inability to manifest or bring about what you would really, really want in your life. And then you've got your commitment is being tested. And that could just be, again, your commitment to whatever it is you want, right? If we get things too easily in life, then we don't really appreciate that having it when we get it. I always felt in university, those kids that got their university tuition paid for by their parents, they didn't seem to be the ones that worked as hard as those of us who had to pay the tuition ourselves and work really hard at a part-time job or full-time job to pay the school fees. Sometimes you have to work really hard for something in order to really appreciate getting it and having it. And, or in this case, perhaps it's your commitment to learning whatever lesson it is that you're having trouble learning, and it's the issues and the roadblocks keep replaying for you over and over. So Spirit is saying, we're going to tell you the truth here, which is that something is getting missed here. So from you got quite a few, this pile got quite a few animal cards than the other piles. So first we have Roadrunner. Meep, meep. That's of course what I hear in my head when I see this card from Looney Tunes. Keep your sense of humor and don't take things so seriously. Yeah, I've been getting this card a lot lately myself in my personal readings, because I think I've been doing a lot of shadow work myself, and yeah, it's really easy to get caught up, sucked down into the rabbit hole of grief and sadness. And so this card is just a reminder to be lighthearted, because things might not be quite as bad as you think. Then we have the Zebra. Let go of your fear and know that you are safe and protected at all times. That is a wonderful, wonderful message, because there seems perhaps part of your issue is fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of trying something different to get whatever it is you're trying to get, whether it's at that new job or new clients or a new partner, whatever it is that you're trying to bring about in your life. Perhaps there's an element of fear there, or not fully being honest with yourself about what you want. So just trust that you are safe and protected. And last we have the Ladybug. This is a time of good fortune and abundance, so be willing to receive all good things in your life. Oh my goodness, this is what we've been talking about. Hello, we have the abundance card over here, and the Ladybug is the reminder that yes, good things are coming. Just be willing to receive them. Trust that they are coming. And part of receiving good things in our lives is being lighthearted, finding joy, and laughing. You know, you sometimes don't realize that maybe you've been in such a slump, you haven't laughed in a while. And maybe you get together with friends and that you haven't seen in a while, and you just laugh so hard that your stomach hurts, and then you realize, wow, I haven't laughed that hard in so long, and it feels really good to do it. So now we're going to go into the tarot portion of this reading, and this is from the Good Tarot deck by Colette Baron-Reid. And this is a different take on the traditional tarot. Instead of using the other symbols, cups, wands, swords, then this deck uses the elements. So we have 9 of water, which is 9 of cups in the traditional deck. And okay, I'm not making this up. This is the abundance card. This is the abundance card. And this is what we're talking about. The Ladybug is telling you, and the mandala is telling you that, yeah, abundance. This is basically all material abundance, security, stability. But that's what this card is, the abundance card. And then we have the 10 of Earth, which is also the 10 of Pentacles. As you can see, there's these beautiful symbols that represent the pentacles. It can represent money. It can represent something in the material world that you have a lot of. But this is also abundance. It's the next level up. 9 is sort of the almost there card, and 10 is you have it all. including family relationships, friendships, material wealth, money saved in the bank that you can pass along as a legacy. Like this is everything in the material realm. So yeah, so far so good. Then we have Messenger of Water, which is the Knight of Cups, and traditionally that means a message is coming. Sometimes it's an apology. It might be an offer of love, somebody coming to tell you their feelings. Could also represent just an opportunity of something, new friendship, new relationship. But often it's understood to be love. So I don't know what this means for you, that perhaps there is a new opportunity in love or friendship, or maybe just an apology from someone that you might be waiting for. But there you go. There's that. And then, oh my goodness, I honestly, I'm not making this up. I did shuffle these. This is the 10 of Cups. So basically, there's 4 10s in the tarot deck, 2 of which are not so great. They're endings of some kind, firm endings. 10 of Swords is a firm ending of something. 10 of Wands is just dropping all the burdens that you're carrying and taking a break, saying no. But the 2 best 10s are the 10 of Earth and the 10 of Water, or the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. I mean, my goodness, this is material abundance, and this is emotional health and abundance. This is having everything. This is everything. This is what everyone in the world wants. So, wow, I'm not even sure there's advice to be given here, except a strong, strong reassurance that good things are coming. And that's kind of what you're getting here. Good things are coming, but you're not entirely sure. You trust it. And there's some things that are, you know, there's a pattern, that an unhealthy pattern that you're in right now that you need to get out of by either being more honest with yourself about something, and having a good sense of what it is you want and what you want to commit to. And again, and this card also is just about reevaluating what it is you really want, and are the approaches you're trying working? Do you want to try a different approach perhaps? And is it worth the effort that you're applying to it? But I'm getting a sense that you're being invited to just trust that good things are coming. But in order to perhaps allow the good things to come in, there are some steps you need to take, some things you need to do in order to make that happen. Things don't always just appear at our doorstep unless, you know, you order a package from FedEx or Purelator. And I'm seeing a lot of those trucks lately in these pandemic days driving around. But unless it's a package you ordered, things don't always just arrive at our doorstep. So the next card we get is advice from Archangel Michael. Explore your options. Dear God, thank you for your wisdom and love, helping me see, understand, and assess all of my alternative options. Please guide me in the best direction for my health, happiness, and life's purpose. So, of course, I believe that in order to attain our true life's purpose, our soul path, let me reword that. Our true life's purpose and soul path is to get these things. And when we follow our life's purpose and soul path, we will get these things. And so you're being encouraged by your higher guidance to explore your options, to not be afraid, to really look within your heart and see what it is you want, reevaluate how you're trying to get it, to find a way to get out of these the cycle of being stuck or just not quite getting what you want to get. And just trust that help is there when you ask for it. Okay, so the last 2 cards I drew were from the Crystal Spirits deck, also by Colette Baron-Reid. And I love this deck because I love to use this deck in my readings, because they seem to summarize beautifully what it is I've already been reading. So the first card is number 1. I don't know how to pronounce this. Agarine. We'll say it's that. Okay, and I'm going to read it straight from the book because it just puts it beautifully whatever message Spirit wants you to receive today. So actually I'll hold this while I'm reading it. So the essential meanings are integrity, solidarity, impeccability, reliability, consistency. Although we are always evolving, we all possess deeply held values that we do not have to compromise. Your personal integrity matters. So if you're feeling pressured to say yes when your heart says no, or to be something you're not, listen to the message Agrine Spirit brings you. Now is a time to remember the importance of being reliable and impeccable with your word. If you really wanted to say no, don't say yes for now and try to correct your mistake later. People may struggle to accept your truth and your decisions, but stick to them, which goes along with your commitment is being tested. Be solid and consistent, because what matters to you deep down matters to the conscious universe who loves you. If you're feeling unsure, doubting whether you have a right to take a stand, become still and reconnect with the conscious universe through this crystal. It's not your job to protect everyone's feelings and keep the peace at all costs. You don't have to rush about smoothing everything over. Be at peace as you stand firm, for your deepest values are in sync with your purpose. Soul purpose. And the conscious universe wants you to feel and be strong right now. Wow. Exactly. Be firm in what you believe. Really try to get be honest with yourself about what it is you really want. And as soon as you figure that out, I promise you, things are going to go really well for you. These are highly coveted cards in the tarot deck, and they're all right there. And then the last one is petrified wood, which I am going to look up here. Essential meaning is patience, timelessness, patience and trust in universal timing, going with the flow. The universe has its own ideas about when and how to bring your intention into form, but we can be impatient, forgetting that time allows the universal consciousness to get all the wheels turning so that what we wish to co-create can begin to manifest. Wow, we're talking about manifestation again, which is the abundance card at the beginning, what that was saying. The appearance of this crystal is a reminder to trust in the timing of the universe. Good things come to those who wait. What good things? These good things. Your message right now is to be open to divine order, for you cannot control the timetable or the form in which the universe expresses your intention. Focus on the process, putting one foot in front of the other as you work at your own growth and healing, and what you need will show up in perfect timing. I see. So it's not just about being honest with yourself and figuring out what the unlearned lessons are. Part of it too is just patience. And oh my goodness, don't we all need to learn patience? So that's the message I have for you, pile number 2s. I hope this was helpful and resonated for you. And if it did, please like and share and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you at the next reading. Love and light to you. Hello, pile number 3s. You are the ones who picked this gorgeous rainbow fluorite with the triangle inside. So this is the pile of cards that I felt guided to, I was going to say select for you, but actually I am a firm believer in waiting for the jumpers to come out. So these are the cards that jumped out as I was shuffling for you. And so this is what Spirit wants you to know the most right now if you felt drawn to this pile. Oops, I'm going to do it this way. So the first card coming out is Pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. I love these cards, by the way, because they're great for assessing, the overall energies of a person or situation. But there's always this subtext here that turns a word that might seem like an attack, like don't be too proud. Pride is a vice, but turns a seemingly negative word into a positive message. And so I love myself and I see myself in everyone. Okay, so that's the first message coming right out for you. Loving yourself and seeing yourself in everyone, which allows you to in turn love them as well. The next card out is Mending. And I'm going to read this one. This is from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck by Colette Baron-Reid. So I'm going to read what's in the book here. The essential meanings are forgiveness, making amends, healing after arguments. So maybe already some of you have you're in the middle of an issue, or you're coming out of an issue where you were at loggerheads with someone or had a disagreement or argument, perhaps with a friend or loved one, or a coworker or boss. Each time we are hurt and allow the hurt to pass through us without understanding and integration, we accumulate an unwanted burden. This keeps us chained to the very things we need to heal: the pain, the memories, the echoes of resentments, and the arguments that we rehearse over and over. Now is the time for mending rifts, healing wounds, and letting go of the old hurts in order to reclaim your power. Now is the time to forgive, to release, to make peace, and to make amends to others. Set yourself free. So, of course, the message that I get from this as well is forgiveness is, of course, helpful to the other person. People always want to know that they are forgiven, but it's also for yourself. You're releasing that burden from yourself. The burden of holding on to any grudges or resentment towards anyone. Then you got a couple cards from the Moonology deck. I love this deck. Your hard work is paying off. So whatever you've been working hard on lately, whether it's a project or maybe it's this issue where you are being encouraged to make amends, you were really working really hard in a relationship or a friendship, perhaps it's feeling unbalanced, maybe pride got in the way, or whatever it is that you're working on. Maybe you're wanting a promotion at work, or it's a new project. Whatever it is you're doing right now, it is paying off. And we have the other Moonology card here. Look at the bigger picture. Because, of course, whenever we're in the thick of something, an issue, conflict, an issue that's confusing to us or overwhelming or a burden, it's always helpful to step back and look at the bigger picture, see where all the pieces come into play, and see where the other roles fit in other than your own. And then we have a few animal cards here for you. We have the dog. Your loyalty and faithfulness is misplaced by serving too many masters. Now, I feel like this is connected to relationships. So not so much masters, but you're feeling pulled in a lot of directions, or you're trying too hard to please people. You're trying really hard. Maybe you're working really hard in a relationship where pride is an issue, or there's some misunderstanding, or it's not balanced. There's not equal give and take. And so perhaps you are trying too hard, or not as hard, or the other person's not trying as hard as you are. And so in that sense, perhaps you are serving too many masters. Just put that there. And then we have the camel. Trust that you have the resources to get through the challenges before you. So yes, I am getting that there is a challenge. There's some kind of well, don't we all have challenges? But there's a specific challenge that I think is connected to a relationship, friendship, partnership, something like that. Perhaps it is work related, but there is a challenge that you're in the midst of right now that perhaps you're working too hard to maybe please the other person, or there isn't enough give and take. So, but that you do have what it takes to get through whatever this is. Oh, and my favorite card of this deck, the Blue Heron. Make a stand for what you believe in and do what feels right in spite of any judgment or disapproval from others. I feel like in some ways this card is a little bit the opposite of this one. No, it's not a cat. That's the opposite of a dog. But I feel like this guy is, you know, running back and forth to please their master. You know, I keep having this image in my mind of a dog eagerly running after the ball that the owner throws. Doesn't matter how far he throws the ball or how fast or yeah, whether it's a curveball or it's out of the park, the dog will eagerly run and go as fast as he can to get the ball and bring it back just so the owner can do it all over again. That's somebody who's like a people pleaser, a yes man or woman, right? And then we have the heron who's like, I'm going to do what I want when I want. And if I don't want to chase after the ball, I'm not going to be chasing after any ball. I'm going to be standing here proudly in my pond, doing what I want to do. So, and not worrying about the owner being disapproving that he didn't go and get the ball. The heron does not care. So in that sense, the heron is kind of the opposite because he's not afraid of anyone's judgment or disapproval, just standing in their own power, doing what they think is right. Okay, so now we're going to get into the tarot portion. And your pile number 3's, was the largest tarot pile. There were so many cards that came out. They just kept coming out. So I had to take them. Starting with the 6 of Fire, which is 6 of Wands in traditional tarot, which is like the victory card. I keep hearing, "Hail the conquering hero" in my head. You know, the voice of Robin Williams as the genie from Disney's Aladdin. Because in the Rider-Waite deck, it's the depiction of a man riding a horse, and he's wearing a victory wreath around his head, or rather it's on his wand, and he's a hero. He's coming back to wherever he's coming from, and he's getting his own little parade, and people are recognizing him. But in this deck, this Good Tarot deck, it's more the idea of shining your light, being independent, standing in your own truth, and being sort of an inspiring light for others. See how this hot air balloon is shining bright and all the other ones are kind of watching to see what they're going to do. So that's the 6 of Fire. And then we have Patience in this deck, which is Temperance in the other, in traditional tarot. And this is a beautiful card, and Temperance is a beautiful card because it's really about divine timing, which nobody likes to hear about divine timing. Things have to happen in God's own time, the universe's time. We all want things to happen in our time. But in this card, notice how she has a clock on her heart. And so she's just sort of somebody who's open to things happening when they're meant to happen, when they're meant to be, when the timing is right. So patience. Okay. We'll see how this fits into the greater story. Then we have 7 of Earth, which is 7 of Pentacles. This is another patience card because it's about planting seeds and putting in all the work to make them grow, and waiting and waiting and waiting for those seeds to grow. In the traditional Rider-Waite deck, it's a guy just sort of leaning on his hoe, and he looks like he's worked so hard to dig out a pentacle, and there's still 6 left, and oh, it looks like so much work. But it's about patience. It's about putting in the hard work towards something, building a foundation for something, and then waiting patiently. And maybe even reevaluating if that's something you even want to be doing, the kind of work that you want to be doing. But again, it's that whole hard work. The hard work that you're putting into something will pay off. He's kind of wondering, though. He's in that state of, boy, is this going anywhere? He looks a little bit tired. But yes, so this is another patience card. And then we have the Messenger of Earth, which is the Knight of Pentacles in the traditional deck, which is the slow knight of all the knights bring change, but he's the slow one. But he's a good one because while he plods along at his own pace, he's solid, knows what he wants. He's really thought it through, planned everything from every angle. And so, when he arrives with his pentacle, or in this case, when this woman arrives with whatever she has to give you in the material realm, it's a sure thing. It's the idea of slow and steady wins the race. The hard things, what do they say? Things that are good things come to those that wait. And there's also, I'm trying to think of the other one, that the best things are the things worth waiting for. That's not really how it goes, but you get my point. Wow. So you've got 3 cards here that all basically talk about being patient, and hard work is paying off. But that maybe you're getting a little bit too focused on the micro and not so much on the macro, and getting caught up in people pleasing, and you just need to figure out where you want your loyalties to be and what your truth is, and stand for what you believe in. But then there's still this issue here of mending relationships, mending something that was broken, making amends. And there's still some more tarot. So we also have the King of Water, which is the King of Cups. He's kind of, if you're in a relationship, he's the one you want to be with because he's the most in touch with his emotions. He's quite intuitive, very loyal, very stable, emotionally mature. And so I don't know, in this case, in your story, if this is a person that you are involved with, could be male or female, or whether this is just you getting to a point of emotional stability. Maybe when you get to the point of no longer trying to please everybody else. Oh, I see what's going on here. You're being invited to be like the King of Water, and rather than trying so hard to please other people, learning to love yourself and just do what's right for yourself and stand up for what you believe in and not be a people pleaser. And that's a kind of self-love, self-care. And when you reach that state of self-love and self-care, then you can love and care for others. And bada bing, this is the card of caring for others. This is 3 of Water, otherwise known as 3 of Cups. This is the friendship card. This is, depicted sometimes as 3 women holding cups. But it's 3 people, men or women. It's friendship. It's just that wonderful, trusting, loyal friendship. And so I feel like this perhaps ties into this card about mending, the need to mend something that was broken, a relationship where pride got in the way, or where you were working too hard, or they were working too hard, and it wasn't balanced in some way. And this to me represents a balanced friendship, balanced group of friends. So that's something to think about here. And lastly, we have 3 of Fire for the tarot portion. And this is 3 of Wands. So this is the beginnings of a foundation. You kind of set a course for something you want to achieve, and you've planted your seeds and you've watered them, but you're also waiting for those seeds to grow, or you're starting to see them to grow, actually. And in some tarot cards, it's depicted as a guy watching his ships coming in. So I feel like this ties nicely with the 7 of Earth, which is the guy that's, tending to seeds he's planted, and he's digging them up, but it's a lot of hard work and it's requiring a lot of patience. So this is kind of, again, just the beginnings, the early beginnings of something that you've started working towards, and you're starting to see the results. But somehow this ties into relationships. So perhaps it's This is indicating that once you find a balance within yourself and within the relationships that you're in, then it will allow the opportunity for the relationship to grow. It will allow the relationship to grow even further, perhaps. And we've got some angel oracle cards here as well. There was, the spirit really had a lot to say to you, pile number 3s. So we have 2 cards from the Archangel Michael deck. Lean on God and the angels for support. Dear God and angels, I give you this situation, fit it however it applies to you personally, and completely. I give it to you now and completely. I step out of the way and allow divine miracles to shine through everyone and everything involved. Right. So this is kind of like the pride card, where you love yourself and you see yourself in everyone, which means that you, in loving yourself and seeing yourself in everyone, you are actually loving everyone in a certain way. And so you're allowing, this card is just, if you feel so inclined, inviting your higher power to help you to see that in the situation, whatever the situation is. If you're feeling resentful, or if you're feeling used in some way or taken advantage of in this unbalanced, relationship situation, then asking for help is always a good idea. And praying about it, meditating about it. The other card is, the person you're asking about is trustworthy. Thank you for helping me have faith so I can open my heart wider in my relationships. I am grateful for your protection, ensuring that only trustworthy people are in my life. So perhaps this card is an encouragement that even though things might have felt unbalanced, either in this work situation or family situation or personal relationship, friendships, whatever it is, even though you perhaps felt like it was unbalanced or you were working too hard to please somebody, whoever it is that you are having this friendship, relationship, what have you with, is trustworthy. It's not someone you're being warned against or guided to walk away from. I think this situation is definitely worth working for. So perhaps the hard work that's paying off, whatever you've been doing to maintain the relationship, maybe it's counseling, maybe it's email conversations back and forth, or maybe it's whatever it is, what you're doing is worth it. The relationship is worth it. Okay? But at the same time, valuing the person and the relationship doesn't mean to lose yourself in it and continue putting more work into the relationship than you should have to. So we now have some crystal spirit cards here to close your reading. Again, you're getting lots of cards, lots more than the other groups. Starting with black tourmaline. I love to use this crystal spirits deck because it's just a great way of summarizing the reading in a way that I just couldn't, or in the way that I was trying to. So black tourmaline. And this is also Colette Baron-Reid. The essential meaning of this card is healthy boundaries, repelling and dispelling unwanted energies, shielding and protection, healthy interdependence. Wow, isn't that what I was just saying? So here's what's written. There's a saying that good fences make good neighbors. Well-being likewise requires healthy boundaries that respect everyone's uniqueness, similarities, and differences. The appearance of black tourmaline spirit is a sign that now is the time to make sure those fences are neither impenetrable walls nor so porous and broken down that you start to lose track of where you end and others begin. Wow, healthy boundaries, relationships. It's invigorating to move between alone time and together time. Maybe you need to be with some extroverts for a while, or maybe you need a long evening alone with a good book. If you've been feeling tired lately, pay attention to whether you're neglecting yourself at some level, giving too much, suffering from empathy overload, or depending too much on someone else and crowding them. You may need some downtime to remind you that you are a human being, not a human doing. You do not have to earn love through perpetual self-sacrifice. Wasn't that what we were saying? That's what the dog was saying. You don't have to always go chase the ball. Nor do you have to feel overwhelmed and needy. Healthy boundaries mean leaning on others in a balanced way, and Black Tourmaline Spirit is here to nudge you to be mindful of when you need time to yourself and when you need to be among those who accept you exactly as you are. And that's what the Heron invites you to do, is to just be yourself. Be firm in what you believe and who you are, despite the disapproval or judgment of others. Because you know what? Those who are really meant to be in your life, who really care and love you, care for you and love you, they're going to stick around. You know, despite your quirky behavior and weirdness, or however it is you are. And last we have Fluorite, which of course is the crystal that I gave your group. Okay. The essential meaning is clarity and purity, clear focus, and end to cluttered thinking. When the way forth is clear, a sense of purpose and enthusiasm arises and the fog of distractions lifts. Fluorite spirit appears when confusion is about to disperse, giving way to pure wisdom and free, unambiguous intentions. It reminds you that you can achieve clarity by slowing down and consciously choosing to release any confusion or distractions, which is where the look at the bigger picture card comes in. Like a still pool reflecting the beauty of the sky, a calm state of mind can produce the clarity you seek, allowing your intentions to be pure. Obstacles to co-creating can slip away as you work with Fluorite spirit to magnify all that is pure, good, and loving within you. Focus on that and it will be amplified. Wow. So being calm and having a clear and pure mind, a clear focus. Okay. And that is the message I have for you guys. I hope this helped, and I hope it resonated in some way. And if it did, please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And love and light to you. Hello, pile number 4s. You are the ones who picked the Chrysocolla stone. And I apologize for this funky lighting, but the light changed on me. Funny how that happens. This darn sun moves as the day goes on. But I just need to get these readings done, so I think it'll be okay. I'll give you a good look at the cards anyways before I put them in their places. So let's have a look here what Spirit guided me to tell you if you felt drawn to pile number 4. This is what Spirit wants you to know. The first card is love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. Then we have courage. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. Then we have imagination. I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. And we have honesty. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. Already I find this interesting that the 4 cards you got from that particular deck, which is the Soul's Journey, they're all purple, which is very, very interesting. And you guys got the most cards from that deck out of the 4 piles. And it's interesting because purple or violet is the color of the crown chakra, which is at the top of your head, and it's the part of you that connects you to your higher guidance, to spirit, to source. So it's all of these are very much off the bat. Right off the bat, I can see these are about mental processes, your thoughts, the way you are processing and thinking about things. There's, you know, truth, expecting truth from yourself, and imagination that comes from your mind. And also even the practice of seeing the good in all things. While love, of course, arguably is something we feel in our hearts, when you commit to something and the way that you see things, that is with your mind as well. Okay, and then the next card we have here is All That Glitters. And this is from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck by Colette Baron-Reid. And I like to read from the books directly because why reinvent the wheel, right? The way it's said in the book is really, really wonderful. But before I read, this book is basically, it's based on this idea that all that glitters is not gold. So just because something is shiny and bright and sparkly and pretty and beautiful doesn't necessarily mean that it is what you think it is, or that it's the best thing ever. Sometimes things are not as they appear. And sometimes the more shiny and beautiful something is, you have to wonder what is being hidden underneath. So here's what's in the book. Here's what the book has to say. The essential meanings: a need to see beyond the superficial, the desire to don a mask or dress something up to disguise its true nature, trying to be something you're not, chasing after every sparkly new thing, being mercurial. And the oracle's message is, it's only human to want to adorn oneself in trinkets and paint a pretty picture of oneself. It's natural to want to acquire the trappings of status or to deny them as a statement of rebellion. But if it sparkles, is it better? Whether it's a fast car, a big house, a title or position, the stamp of authority, or the sparkling of diamonds. These icons let you know something about a person, place, or thing. Or do they? The truth is that people seek to acquire things because of what they will do for them and how they symbolically will elevate them and make them more attractive. This card signals that it's time to see beyond the adornments and probe underneath the surface. Learn to recognize the masks people wear and the motives underlying them. Imagine that all the glitter is gone. Would you still desire the person or object? Wow. Going pretty deep there. We've barely begun. Okay. So again, this is also a card of truth and finding the truth, uncovering the truth of something. And whether what you see on the surface is an indication of what it actually is underneath. Now, this next few cards are from the Moonology deck. This is full moon eclipse. Conclusions are within reach. So this can simply just mean that if you have an issue right now, something's on your mind, perhaps there's a legal battle or some kind of argument or something that you're waiting for, something you've been working for, and you're waiting for results. This can be an encouraging card that conclusions are within reach. This card also means that you've done everything you can and it's kind of reached a peak and you have to sort of let it go to see where the cards may fall. No pun intended. And we have, it's time to release negativity. Full moon in Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio. I know all about releasing what does not serve. So that's what this card is inviting you to do, to take a look inside yourself, but also what's outside of you, and to release anything that is not serving you in a positive way, that is not helping your soul purpose, or is not for your greater good. And perhaps that ties in with all that glitters, right? Taking a look at anything that maybe isn't what it seems, and if it's not helping you to grow and to evolve and to be who you want to be, it's time to let that go. Sometimes that's a person in your life, sometimes that's things, sometimes that's an addiction or toxic behavior. So you're being invited to take a look at that, and with the power of your mind to really figure out what needs to go and what needs to stay. And then we've got some animals coming in to give you some advice. We've got the weasel. Now, don't judge a book by its cover. This weasel has a wonderful message. Be silent, pay attention, and simply observe with your eyes, ears, and physical feelings what is happening inside and all around you. So this is a card of not doing, but just being and observing and paying attention. I like how it says to, observe with your eyes, ears, and physical feelings. So it's sort of a card of intuition, inviting you to really see what feels true to you. I feel like we keep coming back to truth. What is true? What is real? And then we have the octopus. Practice shape-shifting by altering your physical appearance and mannerisms. Now, it's interesting. This card can be read as being an encouragement to people to take on a different persona in a healthy way if they're trying to make positive life changes, if they're trying to manifest or achieve a life goal, get a promotion in their career, or publish their book, or whatever it is. Then it's an encouragement to step out of their comfort zone and be the kind of person you want to be, like dressing for the job that you want. However, in the context of this reading so far, I feel like this is almost a discouragement from trying to be someone you're not. In the All That Glitters card, it talked about, you know, the adornments and trinkets that people wear and what is it trying to hide. Of course, that's metaphorical, or could be. So I feel like this is a card that's piggybacking that idea, that sometimes people alter their appearance and how they act to cover up something, to cover up perhaps something that's not true about themselves, or a truth that they don't want people to see. And so, yeah, paying attention to that, finding the truth behind that. Maybe you know somebody who is afraid to show their true self to the world, and maybe there's nothing wrong with their true self. Not that there's anything wrong with anyone's true selves, actually, but maybe they need to know that. Maybe you can encourage that person, that it is safe to be who they are. But in other cases, it might just be that there's somebody in your life who you have reason to not trust, or who you feel isn't being entirely honest. Now we're getting into the tarot bit, but your pile number 4 is, you got the least tarot cards. I'm a firm believer in the jumpers, not selecting the cards myself, but just letting them jump out as I shuffle. And so 2 is what you got, and that's when I was told to stop. So we got 2 of air, which is equivalent to 2 of swords in the Rider-Waite in the traditional tarot deck, which is this idea of indecision, having 2 different ideas or 2 different thoughts that are kind of warring with each other, or being caught between those 2 thoughts. In some decks, it's depicted as a woman with a blindfold holding 2 swords up. So it's like she doesn't know which one to choose. In this Good Tarot deck by Colette Baron-Reid, it's a little bit more, doesn't look as daunting. It just looks like a woman who's calmly choosing between her 2 pet birds. But really it's this idea of being caught between 2 ideas, 2 warring thoughts, being conflicted, perhaps a lack of balance. And then we also have Queen of Air, which is the Queen of Swords. She's sort of known as being the one who doesn't put up with any BS from anyone. And in some decks, she's depicted as a queen holding a sword in the air, basically ready to cut down anyone who's not honest with her. And as you can see, she's got an owl on her shoulder, which is the symbol for seeing through illusions, seeing truth. And so, yeah, you don't want to lie to her. Does she look like somebody you want to lie to? You do not want to lie to her. She will know, and she will cut you out of her life. So you need to be very careful around a person like her, or you are being invited to be like her and have a very firm sense of what is true. In fact, that's more what I feel like is happening here, because she's the kind of person, she's not going to be fooled by the masks at all. She's going to see right through them. And so maybe you're in a situation where you need to be more discerning. You need to have a good sense of what's real, what's not. Perhaps you're in a situation that's confusing. Maybe you feel manipulated or lied to. So it seems to me there's a situation and you're not sure what's going on. Perhaps that's what the 2 of Swords is. You're not sure which direction to go. You're not sure if it's a person, if what they're saying is true or not, or perhaps you have 2 options or ideas that you're struggling. Whatever it is, you need to get to the heart of the matter. You need to get to the truth of it. And just like this card said, You can't always expect truth from others, but you can expect it from yourself. So perhaps you're being invited to, in the very least, be honest with yourself. Because a good relationship with yourself is really the foundation to have good relationships everywhere else. In other words, good relationships everywhere else starts with a good relationship with yourself. And so maybe that's where all of these cards come in. And remember I said that all of these purple cards are, you know, I feel are connected to the crown chakra, which is your mind, but also your connection to the spiritual realm. And so it's very much in the mind. And the Queen of Swords, Queen of Air, is very much in the mind. She's very intellectual and solid and knows what she believes and knows what she thinks. And you can't really mess with her. Like I said, you don't want to lie to her. You don't want to wear a mask. She will take it off. She will see right through it. So perhaps you are being invited to, whenever you're faced with a situation and you can't discern what the truth is, tap into your inner Queen of Air, your inner knowing, because you know the truth inside. It's there. You mean you've got all of these encouraging cards of how strong you are and that you do know the truth. You do have the ability to see past the shapeshifters and the people that are trying to impress you with all of their glittery, shiny things. And you have the ability to see past those things. We have a couple more cards here, a few more cards. This is a message from the Archangel Michael deck. Be gentle with yourself. Which I also can understand to mean be gentle with others too. But Archangel Michael, please guide me in treating myself with gentle, nurturing love in everything I think, speak, and do. Help me know that I deserve this compassion. I release any feelings of guilt to you so that I may experience lasting inner peace. So this adds a different spin to what I've been saying, but it can be connected. That it's good to be loving in everything we think and speak and do. So emphasis on thinking and speaking, because swords, which is what air is in other decks, swords are communication and thought. So it's about also being. So before I was talking about being on the receiving end of what people are saying and doing and how they're acting, and finding that inner truth in yourself to be able to discern their behavior. On the opposite end, you're being invited to be loving in how you communicate. Okay, and being honest in how you communicate. So watching your words carefully and being gentle with yourself, but also with others in how you communicate. And you guys got the most out of the Crystal Spirit deck. You got 3 crystal cards. And I love to do these cards at the end because they always have a wonderful way of summarizing what I've just been saying in a reading. So starting with Kyanite, which is number 28. And I'm going to read these from the book as well. I just opened right up to it in the book. Wow. Kyanite. The essential meanings: resolving disputes, diplomacy, restoring harmony, mending fences, and building bridges. Wow. You could say that the Queen of Air is a diplomatic queen, and she is all about resolving disputes. If you were to go up to her with a dispute between yourself and another person, she would cut to the heart of the matter with her sword of truth. Okay, and it says, harmony means that even though we are all different, we can blend our unique voices to create an ethereal chorus that uplifts us all. Kyanite Spirit's message is that now is an excellent time for fixing those sour notes that have appeared, resolving any disputes and healing any rifts for the good of all. Although we each have our own ways, we can learn, trouble with the page turn. We can learn so much and gain tremendous support when we let go of our rigid my way or the highway attitude, recognizing that we are all imperfect. Looking for our commonalities can steady us when we're feeling a bit shaky. Tune into others and work toward harmony. You will find yourself growing and becoming stronger as a result. At this time, honesty is required. Honesty is required. Absolutely. When you are dealing with the Queen of Air. And by the way, remember this card? Honesty. Okay. Now let's see if I can find where I was in the book. Oh, No, of course I'm not. Here we go. Be willing to look more clearly at others, your situation, and yourself so that you can find ways to work together and find common ground if possible. Yes, it's hard to look clearly at people when they are hiding behind a mask. We are all imperfect, but love, there's love. I need to stop doing that because I keep losing my place. Oh, wow. But love and a commitment to fairness helps us heal ourselves and our relationships. There is value in different perspectives, and we can agree to disagree, for many voices are needed in a choir. We are called to delight in differences, for we have to lean on each other, and we're always interconnected. Keep this in mind as you take action to heal hurt feelings or reconnect with others in the tribe. Yes. I did pick up that this, this is about some kind of conflict or some sort of discord within a relationship or of some kind. So that's the Kyanite's message, is an encouragement to make amends somehow in that way. And of course, what better way to make amends than to show love and to be honest. Okay, moving on. You clays. I think that's how you say that. Wisdom from within, inner truth, aligning with divine intelligence, trusting your own earned wisdom. Wow, that's the whole reading right there. It says, when you are distracted by all the noise and stimulation that are a part of our lives now, it can be hard to trust that you have what it takes to make wise choices. The appearance of Euclay's spirit is a sign that valuable insights can be found through tapping into your intuitive intelligence. What did I tell you? That is the Queen of Air. She's very intuitive, and she knows what she knows what she knows. When it comes to knowing the truth, there is no substitute for lived experience that has been recalled and examined. Through a process of alchemy, your experiences have generated wisdom that can guide you when you feel lost or confused. Oh, isn't that what I just said over here with Two of Air? Whenever you feel lost or confused. You know more than you think. Trust your inner wisdom, for it is guided by the conscious universe. You are learning that fear can distort your intuitive intelligence, so release any worry and tune in within. You have a vast library of knowledge available to you and wise and loving guidance that will help you. Wow. Release any worry and tune in within. Wasn't one of these about that? Facing fear with confidence. Yeah. Okay. Last but not least, Chrysocolla. I love this stone. I can tell you right off the bat without even having to read the book that it's about truth. It's about speaking your truth. And by the way, that's the stone that I put with this pile. Chrysocolla. So, moving on here. The essential meaning is speaking your truth, heartfelt communication, right speech. Yes, right speech. Exactly. Being impeccable with your word. Having integrity. Again, we all need to be... Now, she has a reputation for being kind of ruthless and heartless, but at her best, she's just honest and authentic and genuine. And we all need to be this for each other. And for ourselves. We need to be this for ourselves. Anyway. When you speak your truth, you're being true to your soul's desire to participate in the co-creation of a better world and a better life for you. Chrysocolla Spirit's message for clear, authentic speech that arises from your heart is this. The force of the conscious universe's love is here for you today as you choose to speak up and speak out, for you can be a clear channel for what needs to be said. Your voice is so very important, for you are a unique being with your own calling and destiny, and the conscious universe expresses truth through you. Wow, no pressure there. Practice choosing your words consciously as you voice a difficult truth or speak up on behalf of someone who has felt powerless for too long. Wow, that's what I said about the octopus. If you have an octopus friend who feels like they have to cover up who they really are. Yes. Be assured that because of your commitment to heartfelt communication, your voice will ring out, cutting through the noise today. Cutting through the noise. Doesn't that make you think of a sword of truth? Cutting through the BS. There you have it. Wow, that is a very, very not unclear message. Which ironically, the way I said it was not entirely clear. That was a very concise message about the value of truth and how important it is to be a bringer of truth and to assess and discern truth for yourself. I hope this is helpful for you. If it resonated, please like, share, and subscribe if you have not already. And love and light to you.